thanks for letting me view your lesson, Miss Ray. It was really, really good. Can you tell me what standard you were focusing on to make sure it kind of lined up with my notes that I took?
I focused on R2, which was use knowledge of phoneme, grapheme, correspondences, and word analysis skills to decode and encode words accurately.
Okay, so that hit your lesson just perfectly because your lesson was on oral reading with CVC and nonsense word fluency. So that was super. What do you feel like worked well in that lesson?
I think having the kids do hand motions and movements.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very active class. And so getting them up and moving and using their hands.
Yeah.
I have some that really like to participate, and I have some that are quieter, but I could see that the ones that are quieter were engaged.
Mm-hmm.
And so that part was nice to see that everybody was kind of engaged, whether they were loud or not loud.
Yeah, and I liked how you used a variety of different strategies. Because some of them weren't really doing the arm chop thing, some of and then some of them would do the finger tap. But I really like how you stretch out the word and then have them blended because they were able to hear all of the sounds. So I thought that was super. So how do you know that kind of stuff worked well?
I think because at the beginning of the year when we started this, I had so many that were unable to do it.
Yeah.
Like they were not able to produce it, and so after kind of getting to know my students and building a relationship with them, I learned what works well for them. And so I have so many different learning styles and so many different ability levels within my classroom that I just had to tailor it to meet the needs of all of my students. And so with myself, I like to be active and move around, and so it's just easy for me to kind of switch things up. And so I know it worked for them because I was able to meet everybody kind of where they are.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were all involved.
Yeah, no, they were all very engaged. It was really great. Did you bring your data with you?
I did.
Okay, super. So let's talk about your data. Comparing to where they were at Christmas. How do you feel like they have progressed? I mean, I only saw one lesson, but I know you do this kind of stuff every day in your classroom. But how do you feel like they're progressing? Are you happy with their progress? Do you feel like we still need to come up with some different strategies to try and push them along? What do you feel?
Well, like from beginning of the year to middle of the year, I had a lot of kids in red. And then from Christmas to now, that number has decreased significantly. So, which is good. But I see more of a push of kids obviously being involved, and they're trying.
Right.
Whereas before they were too afraid to try. And so my yellow students have kind of moved to green, and I've had 4 of my 9 red students move up to yellow. So I still have 5 red students, but they were kids who came to me like they're still not writing their name. They don't know their letters. So there's something going on that we're trying to identify. But I also had one of those red students jump all the way up to green. So, I mean, so I'm seeing a lot of progress.
Yeah.
And I'm pleased with it, but I'm still trying to obviously meet those 5 red ones where they're at, but it's kind of hard when, like, we're still working on our name.
Yeah.
Whereas everybody else is ready to, like, they're reading and they're blending.
Yeah. So let's talk about those red students, because I have noticed that your class has made a ton of gains, which is awesome. But let's talk about those red students. What are some strategies do you think that we could try to maybe help them that we haven't kind of given a fair shot at yet?
I have worked with you, and I've worked with our reading coach. We've done, I mean, just on basic stuff. The phoneme, graphing, mapping, we've introduced that every day. We do it in small group, we do it in whole group. So all the kids are getting, which I think has helped everybody tremendously. The problem with doing it in whole group with those 5 is that they're just writing whatever they want to write.
Right.
So if I say like cat, they might be writing DOH or something.
So there's a phoneme, grapheme,
like a disconnect
there.
Yeah, they don't, and because they don't know their letters and sounds yet.
Right.
Because obviously, like if I call, like my name's Nora, so if I were to call on Nora and I didn't know my name,
right,
they'll go sit in Miss Wheat's seat thinking that's their seat. And so I mean there's a genuine disconnect in general. And so I've upped the phoneme, graphing, mapping. I've upped the multisensory approach to what they're doing in my small group lessons.
Right.
But I've really had to go back to the basics with that group.
Yeah.
And I feel like that group, I'm still kind of in what I did in August and September, whereas everybody else is like almost first grade ready.
Right.
And
So those kids, we've got to get them learning their letters and sounds
Right.
before they can even, before we can even say the word blending with them. You can't blend
Right.
if you don't know your letters and
well,
sounds.
and if you show a letter and they say triangle,
Right.
which is what some of them, so they're so,
Yeah.
and I don't know how else to say other than there's a disconnect. And
Disconnect.
so, I'm working with a variety of, like a team of people. We're trying to figure it out, but obviously there's no diagnosis, so we
Right,
don't know
yeah.
what's going on.
Right. So let's talk about how, like, some instructional strategies that we can use or that you've used that you feel like are working to help those kids get better with their letters and sound and, correspond the letters with the correct sounds.
We have done a lot of the I do, we do, y'all do, you do, y'all do. One of those orders. We've done a lot of the modeling method.
Right, yeah.
My mom was a kindergarten teacher, and so we do a lot of singing songs.
Yeah.
Lots of singing. I get tired of Jack Hartman, I'm just going to be honest, but we do a lot of Dr. Jean, Jack Hartman, just lots of singing, like recognition.
Right.
Letters are posted everywhere for them. Name this letter when we're walking to lunch.
Mhm.
It's just kind of wherever I can label something for them, I've labeled
Right.
it. I've written in highlighter for them to trace. I've kind of just done anything I can that might help them
Right.
with, as far as the basic letters and their name.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. So let's look at the green and blue kids, the kiddos that are at or above grade level.
Mhm.
What can we do? What do you feel like we can do to push them along? Because obviously they can blend CVC words,
Mhm.
they can blend nonsense words.
Mhm.
So what can we do to push them? Because we don't need to just have them sitting stagnant the rest
Right.
of the year.
We're working on high frequency words,
Okay.
and I have been working on text evidence with them. So we're doing reading comprehension with our readers or primers or whatever they're
Mhm.
called now. And I've printed out passages that have comprehension questions, and they're going to find the text evidence. And so I've I've taught kindergarten, first, second, and third grade. So I've been trying to prepare them
Mhm.
for the next grade. And
I
so
think that's awesome.
they know that when they get their highlighter, hey, we're going to go find where the answer is. And so they
Yeah.
highlight it and then they go. And so they're getting ready doing that, but they're also working on like high frequency words with their parents and with me. And I check them every Friday.
Okay. What have you thought about oral reading fluency? Maybe getting them to do some because I know first grade they will do timed oral reading fluency as far as like a benchmark test. Have you thought about that?
My one child that came in blue that was already reading, we do that weekly with.
Okay.
But I have not done it with the others, but I mean that is an idea I'm open to.
Okay. Why don't we do that?
Okay.
Try that out with maybe not all.
Maybe
maybe not all
like
eight
maybe
of
like the
them.
blue.
Maybe just the blue kids,
Okay.
the ones that are above grade level.
Okay.
Try some oral reading with them, and then maybe we can come back together after you've had a chance to get that done, maybe in a week or two.
Okay.
And we can look at that data.
Okay.
Because they may or may not be ready for it. We don't know until we give it a try,
Until we try, right?
Is there any questions you have about the lesson or anything of me?
No, ma'am.